Hello and welcome to Education Today. I'm Jonathan Zish with the Armstrong School District. First, I'd like to thank everyone at WIUP-TV for airing this broadcast. Today, we're going to look at educational places you and your family can visit this summer in Armstrong and Indiana counties. We're going to tie these destinations into some good summer reading to keep students' minds sharp. With us today, we have Mrs. Connie Marr, school librarian at Katanning Township Elementary and Elderton Elementary. On behalf of the school board and administration, welcome to Education Today.
Thank you very much, Jonathan.
Would you please tell me a little bit about your job being a librarian for these two schools?
Well, I spend a lot of my time really encouraging students to read because that's the most important thing. If we can get them finding books and magazines and things that they enjoy reading, it will make such a difference in their academic performance and everything that they do. And it just is a wonderful pastime and a wonderful hobby. So I'm excited to come and talk about how we can get encourage some students to read this summer.
Tremendous. Well, now we're going to jump into our summer fun. Nearly all of the destinations are recommended by the Armstrong County Tourist Bureau. First, we're going to travel to the Marshall House in Dayton.
Farmer Thomas H. Marshall built the Marshall House in the 1860s. It's got a huge kitchen like most of the farmhouses of its day. Visitors can learn how the inhabitants lived by looking at antiques and farm items on display. From Memorial Day to October, the Marshall House is open from 2 to 4 p.m. Saturdays. It's also open by appointments. Admission is free.
Connie, what books might someone read after a visit to the Marshall House?
Well, one of the things that I thought of was a book called The Farms. And the Marshall House gives us an interesting look at farms in the 1800s. And this book has some very interesting things about barns, and this is a particular style of barn, Pennsylvania barns, as well as talking about some of how they use the fieldstone to build barns and some of the other operations. So I think this gives us a great example of the book, and that is a summer reading. And this is a book called The Farms. Secondly, I have another book and a treasury. This is a combination of books. There's the Christmas kitten in here. There's Moses the cat. All sorts of various books that are put together. They're children's stories that children just love to hear about. And they tie around that farm theme. So I think those are two fun ones to look at.
Tremendous. Are there any books that could tie into the Underground Railroad movement?
I think there are a number. There are some nonfiction. The Underground Railroad both give some great information about the railroad, about what went on, what happened, how people felt in the nonfiction area. In the fiction area, the book Brady is fantastic. It's about a boy in Pennsylvania, and his mother's from the South. His father is obviously a Northern sympathizer. He is running an Underground Railroad, and Brady has to make a choice. So it's an exciting historical fiction adventure for the kids to enjoy.
Well, thank you. Now we're going to go to historic Smicksburg, where anyone can go to find a slower pace of life.
Founded in 1827 by the Reverend J. George Schmick, it is home to a significant Amish community. As you drive through the beautiful countryside, take notice of the horse-drawn buggies and enjoy more than 20 specialty shops offering Amish wares of handcrafts, quilts, furniture, and goods.
Connie, what books might tie into a visit to historic Smicksburg?
Smicksburg has a lot of interesting things as we look at the Amish. Just plain fancy gives us an idea of some of the beliefs of the Amish. And a little girl finds a very fancy egg and is concerned what may happen and that the family may shun the animal that hatches from it, which turns out to be a peacock. But it's a neat and exciting story. Secondly, a couple books. Reuben and the Fire is an excellent example. There's a fire in an Amish community, a barn burns, and this gives an excellent example of the barn raising, and it talks about the things that the Amish community does to support each other, and the little boy experiences that whole process of the barn being raised. There's also the book, same characters, Reuben in the Blizzard, as he's concerned about the winter and afraid of being snowed in.
Both of those, of course, illustrated by the famous P. Buckley Moss.
Yes.
Tremendous. Well, next we're going to go to the Drake Log Cabin in Apollo.
This early 1800s log cabin is still on its original foundation in the lower end of Apollo. It shows how early settlers lived. This two-story cabin is the last log cabin in town. It had been occupied until 1965, at which time the Apollo Area Historical Society secured it. Since its construction in the early 1800s, it has never had running water, electricity, or a furnace. The log cabin is open to tours on holidays or by appointment.
Connie, what books might tie into the days of log cabins?
Well, I thought about log cabins, and the person that comes to mind is Abraham Lincoln. And I pulled a couple of things about Lincoln. Where Lincoln Walked is, I think, an interesting book. And in particular, in the very beginning of it, it gives us some beautiful pictures of the log cabins, or very similar to log cabins that he lived in. And so this gives us a very neat and exciting perspective. Secondly, whenever you think of Lincoln, you can't talk about him without talking about Russell Freedman's Lincoln, a Photobiography. This book is just a wonderful representation of the life of Lincoln. It gives us so many interesting details about him and things that we tend not to know about him. The legendary Lincoln, reading from the text, is known as Honest Abe, a humble man of the people who rose from a log cabin to the White House. There's no doubt that Lincoln was a poor boy who made good. And it's true that he carried his folksy manners and homespun speech to the White House with him. He said howdy to visitors and invited them to stay a spell. He greeted diplomats while wearing carpet slippers, called his wife mother at receptions, and loved to tell jokes at cabinet meetings. So those give us an interesting perspective of Lincoln, but also with that tie-in of the log cabins.
I like it. Now we'll jump to the Crooked Creek Environmental Learning Center and Crooked Creek Lake Park, both in Bethel Township.
The Crooked Creek Environmental Learning Center promotes responsible resource conservation in a quiet, wooded setting. The park that surrounds the center is Crooked Creek Lake Park. According to the website, it has a beach, boat rentals, lake, campground, picnic areas, and a fitness trail. The lake and its miles of scenic shoreline provide unlimited opportunities for water-based recreation.
Connie, please tell us what books might tie into these outdoors encounters.
Well, when I started thinking about that, I just thought of some really neat children's fiction that I wanted to share with you. First of all, a book called The Gruffalo. And it's fun to say, well, have you seen a Gruffalo before? And then when you get them to convince you, oh, yes, I know what a Gruffalo is and where it lives, and then eventually they find out in the book there is no such thing. But a poor mouse encounters a Gruffalo. And this creature has terrible claws and terrible teeth in his terrible jaws. He has knobby knees and turned out toes and a poisonous wart on the end of his nose. His eyes are orange, his tongue is black. He has purple prickles all over his back. So then, of course, the children want to know, how does the mouse get out of this situation? So that's one fun one to begin with, the Gruffalo. Another neat, very, very touching story is A Story for Bear. And this is a beautifully illustrated book. She can see from taking a look at the pictures. And a woman ends up convincing a bear to come and sit down while she reads to the bear. And she's at her summer house, but eventually she has to go home. And the bear ends up, she leaves him all of her books so that Bear can have them throughout the course of the winter. And it's a little bit of a tearjerker, but a beautiful, beautiful story.
Sounds nice.
Another fun one is We're Going on a Bear Hunt. And this is a family who's decided to go out and they're looking for a bear. Now this is fun for younger kids because you can really get them involved in what's going on. They can go through, because they run into all of these different encounters of different things. They run into grass and they can't go over it and they can't go under it. Oh no, we've got to go through it. And since those words stick in the whole story, the kids can join along with you as you're reading it. And they have lots of fun sounds, the swishy, swashy, that you can make as you're reading along the way. So it gives a fun feel and just has a real cute ending. We're going on a bear hunt.
Good stories, good stories. Okay, well, get out the bike rack because we're going to now see some of the greatest bike trails in Armstrong and Indiana County.
One of the best-known bike trails is the 52-mile-long Armstrong Trail, which runs along the east bank of the Allegheny River. According to recreational guides we spoke with, The best stretch to use is through the communities of Ford City, Katanning, and Templeton. There is also the Roaring Run Trail just outside of Apollo. This trail is located on Canal Street and meanders along the Kiskiminetas River. Both of these trails are great for walking, jogging, hiking, or bicycling.
Connie, what books could possibly tie into bike trail riding?
Well, as I started to think about that, we really started to take a look at Lance Armstrong, because I think he is synonymous with that bicycle riding. And the first book is a biography of him, Sweet Victory, Lance Armstrong's Incredible Journey. And this book itself talks about his experiences, his life, the various things that he's gone through, as well as his successes, his dealing with cancer and the illnesses. Has a lot of interesting information in. And one thing I really enjoyed, and just a quick look through, it has little blurbs that says, "Did you know?" And I just enjoyed this one. It says, after finishing 111th in San Sebastian, Lance called his mother and asked if she thought he'd made a mistake in turning pro. "Not on your life," she replied. She told him to suck it up and get back on that bike, and that was all that Lance needed to hear. The rest is history. So I thought that was an interesting perspective in how he has dealt with failure but moved on to a great deal of success. The second book of Lance Armstrong was written specifically by Lance Armstrong, and this is It's Not About the Bike, My Journey Back to Life. And this would be more of an adult level reading, but it is a great book that talks about his experiences, the emotions and the feelings that he has gone through. So I think those are great tie-ins to our bike trails that we have in our area.
Nice choices, thank you. The next two places we're going to talk about are ones that you really can't visit, except to maybe see a historical marker alongside the road and imagine that many years ago, some major history took place right here. The first of those is the Nellie Bly homestead along Terrace Avenue in Apollo.
The Nellie Bly childhood home is on Terrace Avenue in Apollo. Nellie Bly is well known for her important contributions to the field of reporting for women. She was born in 1864 in Cochrane's Mills, Burrell Township. Her real name was Elizabeth Jane Cochrane, but she is better known by her pen name of Nellie Bly.
Connie, do you have a book for Nellie Bly as well?
Yes, I do. And in fact, this is one I read last summer myself, because I really didn't know who Nellie Bly was. And we had a biography in each of the elementary schools, and I thought, I need to take a look at this. And this is entitled Nellie Bly, Daredevil, Reporter, and Feminist. Now, it is really an adult level book, but I found it very, very interesting because it talks about her life and her experiences, and I never realized the things that she had done. In 1890, she is a woman reporter, which they had next to none of women reporters. She travels around the world to beat the record in going around the world in less than 80 days, like the book that had been out earlier on. And it becomes a world phenomenon. Everyone is tracking, where's Nellie Bly today, what's going on. Becomes exciting. She reports on different things. She has herself committed to a mental institution and does a report about what was going on in the mental institutions in New York at the time. Also, during the course of the summer, we then my husband and I ourselves, we drove past the house, and there's a picture even in the book of the house in Apollo, and I thought that was just really neat to see it because it presented that at the time it was such a wonderful and magnificent house, and then to really look at it and to see what it is today. It gave an interesting perspective of our past and of our history. So she's an interesting individual that we don't tend to know a lot about.
That's true. Thank you for that tie-in.
You're welcome.
There's also Blanket Hill, a famous French and Indian war site in Katanning Township.
There is a plaque along Route 422 westbound in Katanning Township that marks where Blanket Hill was. Blanket Hill was a principal village of the Delaware Indians, located at the juncture of important trading paths. The village was attacked by British troops in 1756.
Connie, would you please tell us what books tie in here?
Well, the French and Indian War, I found a couple different titles that tie into that. Just the French and Indian War, a primary source of history, the fight for the territories in North America, that talk about the entire war, not just the things that happened in Armstrong County, but it gives us a perspective and a feeling of what was going on, so that people can see these are some of the things that our ancestors were looking at and were dealing with. Also, another book called The Struggle for the Continent, A Struggle for the Continent. Again, deals with that French and Indian War, gives us lots of good information and ideas about what it was like in our area during those times.
Very nice. Well, that's our show for today. We've seen some great places to go, and thanks to you, Connie, we've learned about some great books you can read after you go to them.
Thank you.
I'd also like to thank Dr. Bev Long, who is Federal Programs Coordinator for the Armstrong School District. She came up with the idea for this show and gave invaluable input during its creation. I'd also like to thank Ed Bauer, who teaches television production classes at Katanning Senior High School. His students did an outstanding job as today's film crew. Please join us again next week for another look at the Armstrong School District. To learn more, please visit our website, and we'll see you next week.
Each fall, something special happens in central Armstrong County. The community of Elderton displays its remarkable colors, revealing not only the rural splendor of its landscape, but the vibrant spirit of its people. On the Cowashannock branch of the Great Shamokin Path, people from the communities of Dayton and Rural Valley come together and flourish like the multicolored foliage of an autumn forest. Further south in Ford City, the majestic waters of the Allegheny River flow timelessly forward as an industrious town steeped in tradition rediscovers its potential for greatness. And in the county seat of Katanning, Pennsylvania, the autumn winds bring positive change and revitalization to a community with a historic past and a promising future. Throughout central Armstrong County, fall is a season marked by tradition and transition. Like the autumn leaves, students across the Armstrong School District return each year to don the colors that represent their schools and exemplify their own unique heritage and traditions. Individually, each is impressive, but collectively, like a magnificent multicolored autumn collage, they are, together, brilliant. Working together for academic excellence, the Armstrong School District is a public education system serving more than 7,000 students from 30 municipalities throughout central Armstrong County and a small portion of western Indiana County. The district operates with an annual budget of approximately $69 million and is Armstrong County's largest employer, with 775 professional staff and support personnel. The Armstrong School District covers 436 square miles and encompasses 4 attendance areas: Elderton, Ford City, Katanning, and West Shamokin. The district's elementary schools offer a full continuum of educational opportunities and developmental programs for students in grades K through 6. Teachers collaborate on student learning projects with an emphasis on developing strong skills in math, science, technology, and language arts. Reasonable class sizes and a productive, student-centered learning environment are the hallmarks of the district. Morning and afternoon kindergarten options are available in each attendance area. The district's secondary schools offer traditional educational programs with a strong focus on student achievement and preparation for post-secondary education and training. The Armstrong School District, in partnership with its families and communities, graduates educationally prepared, productive, morally responsible individuals. To achieve this mission, the Armstrong School District has developed a comprehensive strategic development plan that will guide the district well into the 21st century. The district's strategic plan provides direction for developing locally adopted academic standards that meet and exceed those at the state or national level. The strategic plan also allows the Armstrong School District to maintain control of operations, policy development, and administrative procedures. In the Armstrong School District today, there's a world of possibilities. A world driven by educational technology, where opportunities for extraordinary learning and achievement are as boundless as the dreams, abilities, and imagination of Armstrong School District students and educators. Access to technology is available in all K-12 classrooms in the Armstrong School District. Students use the internet to become active, independent learners. As a productivity, learning, and communications tool, technology has a positive impact on curriculum and instruction. The district's investment in technology enables greater individualized instruction and extends the boundaries of the traditional classroom. Like any successful school district, the Armstrong School District's greatest asset is its dedicated team of educators. Staff development initiatives allow teachers to take part in continuing professional education and training activities. Many of these training initiatives take place in Armstrong School District's new Professional Development Center, located in the district's administrative offices. The state-of-the-art facility features a total of 16 computer workstations, an interactive whiteboard and plasma monitors for video conferencing and multimedia presentations. New initiatives in the electro-optics industry and the emergence of other high-tech industries are positive indicators of economic development in Armstrong County, which could translate into tremendous opportunities for a new generation of employees. To meet the needs of these burgeoning local industries, the Armstrong School District emphasizes math, science, and technology in its curriculum. District graduates are also empowered with solid problem-solving and critical thinking skills. The Armstrong School District provides career awareness and post-secondary education and training opportunities through ongoing partnerships with the Armstrong Educational Trust, Armstrong Chamber of Commerce, Strongland Chamber of Commerce, and Lenape Tech. Post-secondary educational institutions within commuting distance for district residents include Indiana University of Pennsylvania, Clarion University, Penn State New Kensington campus, Butler Community College, and the many colleges and universities located in the Pittsburgh area. The Armstrong School District, in accordance with Pennsylvania Department of Education Chapter 14 regulations, provides special education services to its students based on physical, sensory, mental, or emotional disability. The district conducts evaluation reports and develops needs-based individualized education programs for each eligible student. IDEA training teams work to implement the best possible programs for district students. Incoming kindergarten students take part in the successful kids screening programs in the spring of each year. The screenings provide specific and detailed information in regard to a child's motor, auditory, cognitive, and language areas. Students in need of assistance participate in an extended day kindergarten speech-language program, a Title I initiative where specialists provide targeted support to ASD students in smaller group sessions. The schools in the Armstrong School District have a rich tradition of excellence in interscholastic high school athletics. The district also takes great pride in its wide range of performing arts programs, including choral, band, and drama programs. The district holds several special events and programs throughout the course of the school year to give students the opportunity to showcase their talent in these areas. At all grade levels, physical education classes give Armstrong School District students an opportunity to improve their athletic skills and physical conditioning. Armstrong School District students are also offered a wide range of electives that give them the opportunity to become more well-rounded, productive individuals. Elective courses in home economics, foreign languages, industrial arts, and many other areas expand the overall scope of the educational experience. The Armstrong School District operates an in-house food service program that offers a wide variety of nutritious lunch selections. The district takes part in the National School Lunch Program. Free or reduced-priced lunches are offered to eligible students. Safe and reliable transportation is provided to all attendance areas in the Armstrong School District. The communities of the Armstrong School District are not only a great place to learn, they are a great place to live. The area offers residents a unique blend of rural beauty combined with a progressive vision of the future. The diversity and pride of the district's many communities are its strength. Realizing that all members of the community are stakeholders in education, The Armstrong School District strives to provide adequate and equitable funding to ensure equal opportunities for all students and a fair chance for schools to improve performance. Important information about the progress of the Armstrong School District is shared with residents through a district newsletter. The district also maintains an informative website to keep local residents up to date with school events and activities. To stimulate population growth and increase the local tax base, the Armstrong School District has introduced a new home construction tax abatement program. The program exempts 100% of property tax on the assessed value of new residential construction for homes started from January 28, 2002 to June 30, 2005. Under the program, residential properties are exempt from taxes for a period of 24 months. Like the leaves of autumn, each of the individual schools within the Armstrong School District is remarkably unique and special. But as one, these schools and the students, educators, and parents who comprise them are together brilliant.